Hello, my dear student. Welcome to another edition of your mathematics lesson. Today, in continuation with our main topic, arithmetic of finance, what we are going to discuss today is income tax. So let's begin. After completing the very lesson today, my dear student, number one, you'll be able to explain the term income tax, and the number two, you'll also be able to solve problems involving income tax. These are the two things I hope my dear student will be able to do after completing the very lesson today. So as usual in your favorite segment of the lesson Marxist Planet, today I'll give you another group of numbers, and this group of numbers are called the rounded numbers. I will explain what are rounded numbers and give you examples of those round numbers, but that will be done after completing my lesson today, so don't go away. To begin the lesson, my dear student, let me first explain what is income tax. So income tax is the tax paid by income earners. Income earners are those people that work and collect a salary either monthly or whatever. So they pay tax to the government. And that tax is usually percentage of what we call the taxable income. And is calculated using this very formula: income tax equals to the tax rate, which is given in percentage, multiplied by the taxable income. So this is the formula we now used to find the income tax. That is the amount each and every income earner will now pay to the government. So this is the formula. And the taxable income is that portion of the gross income, of the gross salary, if it were salary, that there is a tax in it. There are portions of money inside your gross salary that is not taxable, meaning we didn't deduct the tax from it, but the other part is what we call the taxable income, which you shall see later. So this is the formula. And the net income, that is the take-home pay for that salary earner, is now given by this formula: gross income. That is his total income minus the income tax. So your employer will now have to remove the tax that is now going to pay to the government from your money before he paid you. And what he paid you is what we call the net income, or the take-home pay. And this is your total income, which we call the gross income, then minus the tax that is now remitted to the government. So this is the formula to find the net income. Simply remove the tax from the total income, that is the gross income. Similarly, if your taxable income, that is to get the taxable income, what you simply do is the total income, that is your gross income, minus the non-taxable, that is the portion of the income that is no tax in it. We shall see all this: what is non-taxable, what is taxable. So this formula will now find it very useful while solving problem on a tax. So let's just move and take examples. So example number one, it says a teacher earns 120,000 naira per month. This will now be his total income. And he is allowed a tax-free fee of 30,000 naira. So this 30,000 naira is now non-taxable. And he now pays 15% of the remaining. So after removing the non-taxable from the total income, the remaining is now taxable. So he now pays 15% of the remaining income as tax. So the person asked, how much has he have left? What amount will he be given from this 120 naira at the take home? So solution to this very problem: what we do first is to write down that very formula for calculating the taxable income. We have to get it before we now find the amount of tax that is going to pay. So the taxable income is given by the total income minus the non-taxable. In this case, the non-taxable is this 30,000 naira, because it says free pay of 30,000, meaning inside there's no tax. And this is one total income, that is 120. Let me just substitute. So I have 120,000 minus the 30,000. This gives a result 90,000. This will now be the amount that we deduct the tax from it, 90,000. So let me just calculate the tax now. So income tax will now be equals to tax rate, which is this 15%, multiplied by the taxable income, which is this 90,000 naira. So let me just substitute. I have 15 over 100, that is the 15%, multiplied by 90,000, that is your taxable income. If this is done correctly, you now have 13,500 naira. This would now be the amount of tax that the government will collect from the earnings of this worker. So the question asked how much has he have left. So the take-home pay, that is the net income, will now be given by the formula total income minus the income tax. The income tax is what we have just calculated here, 13,500, and the income, that is the total income, is his 120,000 naira. So let me just substitute. Have 120,000 minus 13,500, and if this subtraction is done correctly, you now have 106,500 naira. This is now the net income. Let me just move and take another example. Example number 2, it says a teacher's gross salary is 250,000 naira, out of which this amount 30,000 is his transport allowance. 10,000 is utility allowance, and this to 2,000 is his meal allowance. The question asked here is if he paid 10% of the remaining as a tax. The question asked here is calculate his net income, that is his take-home pay. Solution to this very problem. If I go back to the question again, this is the gross salary. And this 30,000, 10,000, 2,000 are all allowances. And allowances are non-taxable. So you have to add all the allowances. That gives you the non-taxable income. And when you remove them from the total income, is what remains, is what we call the taxable income. It is from that taxable income that we now deduct this 10%. So let's just proceed. So starting with the taxable income is now going to be total income minus the non-taxable. And the non-taxable, I repeat, is all those allowances are non-taxable. So there we substitute. We have the 250,000 as the total income minus the 30,000, the transport allowance, minus the 10,000, the utility allowance, minus the 2,000, the meal allowance. When you remove all this from the 250, you now get 280,000 naira. This is now the taxable amount. It is from this now we deducted this 10%. So let's just move, find the income tax. Income tax is given by the formula tax rate multiplied by the taxable income. The tax rate in this case is 10%. Let me do that. So I have 10 over 100 multiply the taxable income, which is 208,000. So multiplying this correctly, you now have 20,800 naira. This is the amount of tax this salary earner is going to pay the government. So his now net home pay, that is his take home pay, is now going to be the total income minus the income tax. The income tax is this 20,800 naira, and the total income is 250,000 naira. So substituting it there, you now have 250,000 minus 20,800. And this subtraction, if done correctly, you now have 229,200 naira. This what will now be given to this the teacher and take that amount home. That is the net income. So this, my dear student, I hope you'll be able to find the income, the tax, and this come to the end of this very lesson. I hope you find it resourceable. And let me just move to the last segment, Mars expand and explain what are brown numbers. These are pairs of numbers, that is brown numbers, are pairs of numbers m and n, such that the factorial of the second number add 1 to the result, it will give you the square of the very first number. Let's just take examples of brown numbers. 5 and 4, this pair of numbers are brown numbers. So if that is the case, if I now find the factorial of 4, add 1 to the result, it will give me 5 square. Let me do that. So you now have, that is the condition. So if I now substitute 4 by n and m by 5, I will now have 4 factorial plus 1 equals to 5 square. What is 4 factorial means? 4 multiplied by 3 times 2 times 1 again up to 1. So there you now have 4 factorial as 24. Then add 1 to the result. It gives you this 5 square, and 5 square is 25. So you can see 24 plus 1, it will give you 25, which means 5 and 4 are rounded numbers. Other examples of rounded numbers, you have 11 and 5, 71 and 7. These are other pairs of numbers that are rounded. Thank you for your attention. We see more of these interesting things in mathematics in our subsequent lessons.